Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Matira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava O Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Premanandi, Jaya Vishnupada Paramansa Parivracharya Statara Shashmis Devangir. I see Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON BBT Founder Srila Prabhupada ki, Namishala Srila Das Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaur Premanandi. All goes to assembled devotees, all goes to assembled devotees, all goes to assembled devotees, all goes to Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining face to face, 4 people here and those who are watching from Mayapur TV, YouTube and other channels. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. On behalf of Shri Radha Gopinath's Temple, ISKCON Sydney Yatra, in behalf of ISKCON Sydney Deity Department, I thought of doing some deity worship classes. Start off with importance of deity worship, and there's lots and lots of topics to be covered. and there's vast of experiences and a lot of realizations and a lot of importance and lot of things to share. So if in future, if it goes on with more requests, we'll probably continue with few more series. This is the first start. So we may do part 2, part 3, part 4 and whatever, whatever Radha Gopinath allows. So there has been a lot of quotations from various acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and a lot of ISKCON senior devotees and other scriptures has quoted about what is deity worship and what is it. So I have got so many quotations, but I'll probably go with the standard system, which is I'll probably take one slok and just go with the main area of that slok, and then rest of the discussions will be on the rest of the purports of different other sloks. So I'll give you the reference, probably you can note it down, and later on in your spare times you can read. So first discussion is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, text number 17. So I'll read the slok. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sanirgata Karunava Punyalabdo Gaganayaiva Tritya Padadata Padni Avrakarmat Punya Chiksha Yasvayam Adiksho Yanti Sahastra Mrityu. Translation. By his pity, Vidura achieved the advantages of the pious Kuberas. After leaving Hastinapur, he took shelter of many places of pilgrimage, which are Lord's lotus feet. With a desire to gain a higher order of pious life, he traveled to holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of Lord are situated. The purport is quite long, it's about 2 pages, but basically I'll summarize of the purport. It just basically says that Vidura had the advantages of pious Kuberas, and after leaving Hastinapur, he went to many places of pilgrimage, which are kind of the lotus feet of the Lord. So wherever the Lord goes, it becomes pilgrimage. So while he was traveling to many, many places, he has seen the forms of the Lord, which were the Archa Vigraha, which is the Murti form, which in English we say deity, which is deity worship. Deity worship. So, of course, the purport has got a lot of pastimes about Vidura traveling and then whatever happens. I'll go to the main purport, which Prabhupada has quoted as a reference of importance of deity worship. It comes in the 4th paragraph of that purport. I'll read that. It says, these forms are called Archamurtis, or the forms of the Lord which can be easily approached by common man. The Lord is transcendental to our mundane senses. He cannot be seen with our present eyes, nor can he be heard with our present ears. To the degree that we have entered into the service of the Lord, or to the proportion to which our lives are freed from sins, we perceive the Lord, but even though we are not free from sins, the Lord is kind enough to allow us the facilities of seeing Him in His Archamurtis in the temple. The Lord is all-powerful, and therefore He is able to accept our service by presentation of His Archa form. No one, therefore, should foolishly think the Archa in the temple to be an idol. Such an Archamurti is not idol, but the Lord Himself, to the proportion to which one is freed from sin. He is able to know the significance of Archamurti. The guidance of a pure devotee is therefore always required. So we understand from this purport, which is from 3.1.17, Srila Prabhupada tries to emphasize that what it means that when the Lord is in the temple, it is considered as, when people come to take darshan, one of the main one of the portions is they get their sins relieved. When they come and pay obeisance by their body, when the body bows down, half or full danvat, they are using their body to utilize to get the sin cleared. Also, that purifies the eyes, purifies the senses. When we come to the temple, we smell the aroma of the temple. It's natural, as soon as you come to the temple, you feel that you are entering the temple. Anywhere you go, any temple you go, not only in ISKCON temples, any temples you go, you feel that the environment has some potency. It attracts you or it pulls you towards that beauty about that environment. Like when I was a child, probably can't remember the age, must be 8, 9 years or 10 years. I used to live in another town, different city. So I used to travel to the main city where the temple was. So I still remember, it's like close to 35 years ago, as soon as I used to pay obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, as soon as I used to walk towards the deity, I used to get the smell of the flowers, the fragrance which the Lord used to wear, the garlands. And till now I have that memory of in my head, that smell. When I first used to see that, I used to always, as soon as somewhere there if I passed that, it used to be frangipani smell, the flower. So as soon as I used to pass the frangipani area, any gardens or any trees, and if I smell that, straight where temple used to remind me. And I used to think of that Archa Vigraha form. So it is so important that when devotees, they come to the temple, they go with that memory, Archa Vigraha. So what Prabhupada is trying to say, that the guidance of pure devotees is always needed, which Prabhupada has given us how to worship the deities. We have a lot of standard for deity worship. So as in ISKCON, we have a standard of bhakta training. Then after certain years of bhakta training, you go for your first initiation. And then, of course, with the exams, which is the ISKCON disciple course, the IDC, which is said in short form. And then after that, you get first initiated, then taking shelter for a few years, depends on the requirement of your spiritual master. Then you move to the second initiation under the guidance of the local authorities. So when you get second initiated, then kind of you get some services to do in deity department. But while saying that, deity worship doesn't only start from the time when you're entering the altar. Deity worship starts quite prior to that. So understanding the importance of the deities in the temple is the main purpose of this class. Many times people come to temple, they just move around, they just do some chit-chat outside and then go. Eat prasad, meet some friends at the back, and then they go leave. Sometimes they don't even come into the temple room and pay obeisance to the Lord. So, as a culture, as Prabhupada, when he went to the West, he never just built the society as just like a normal centers or something, smaller centers. Just he didn't do that. He started with, as soon as there was enough devotees, he said, build the temple. As soon as there was enough devotees, build the temple. Because he knew that when the temple is being built, people will come to the temple, devotees will come to the temple. Together with the temple, they do a lot of service, and the center of the service becomes the deities. and then it grows from there. So in one of these points, Srila Prabhupada was saying that no one should foolishly think that the archa in the temple is to be idle. Sometimes recently there was a message, one man, I don't know, it is a devotee, he posted in the Facebook, he said, he's a devotee, in India. And I don't know him, but he's just a friend of mine. And he posted, Ganesh idol has been notified as attraction or something. So I wrote him personally a message. I said, Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's nice that you wrote that article, but don't say idol. It's an offense to say a murti as an idol. Sometimes we hear in the news or in the standard news, in the news channels or in Indian Times of India or like in the West also, they say it's an idol. And the pop stars who they sing nicely, they also say, I'm an idol. So it just makes it very difficult to understand when they say the Lord is an idol. For us, it's murti. We don't call it an idol. Idol is without any personal relationship. It's just in ISKCON, before we do sthapna, before we do installation, they are actually kind of idol, of course. But once we start worshipping it, it is called murti. So, like a lot of times that's why the pure devotees guidance Prabhupada has said that it's very important that we need to understand that why we worship the deities. And moving on to, there's another second point Srila Prabhupada was saying in one of the other papers he has written, which is in Sri Upanishad Mantra 5 paper. In our present state of imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet those devotees who want to see Him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept His devotee service. So it is in Sri Upanishad Mantra 5 paper, this is from the quotation from there. Here, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions that the Lord actually comes in the form to accept the service from individuals. Now it's very hard when people, in general knowledge, when we are trying to make people believe in the faith of the deities, they don't understand that how can this, like a small marble deity could be considered as form. But it is very difficult for mundane, ordinary people to understand. But when you come to a concept of start building that relationship with the Lord through regularly accepting it through the guidance of acharyas, you start to build that connection. And this is what Srila Prabhupada says, that it is not very clear to our so-called material eyes. There's another point Srila Prabhupada said, again from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, text number 35. It says here, the devotees express their minds before the deity, and in many instances the deity also gives answers. But one must be a very elevated devotee in order to be able to speak with the Lord. Sometimes the Lord informs the deity through dreams. This exchange of feelings between the deity and the devotee are not understood by atheists, but actually the devotee enjoys them. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto 25, chapter 25, text 35. Here it's very important, Srila Prabhupada says, the devotees actually has some relation, in instance where it gives answers. So, in our deity department, we have close to about 80 devotees who are involved with our deity department. If you add all the garland team, it will be over 100 devotees in ISKCON Sydney. So it's like about 100 devotees involved with deity department. And everyone, as matter of time we have seen, when we discuss with all the different devotees, sometimes I go and talk to each and every individual devotees, Prabhus and Matajis. I see there are different exchange they have for the Lord, for Shri Radha Gopinath. Some have so much deep affection that they talk to you in such a way you could understand with their feeling that how deep they are thinking and how much affection they have for Shri Radha Gopinath. Like sometimes when I do the dressing, when I don't twist the garland a little bit up, they come and ask me, Prabhu, why didn't you twist it like that? I say, oh, I tried to, but it didn't, oh, no, it would have been better if you would have done it a little bit higher. And so you could understand that when they are doing their service, how much affection they have while doing the service and how much they consider the outcome to be. So this is what Prabhupada says, is that the instance is they elevated devotees in order to speak with the Supreme Lord. And also Prabhupada says that the devotees also sometimes get information from dreams and exchange the feeling between the deity and the devotees are not understandable by atheists. Ordinary people won't understand. That's why Srila Prabhupada has so many pastimes with his exchange with the Lord. Sometimes he used to see Narad Muni here, sometimes he used to see previous acharyas, sometimes he used to talk about so many other exchanges, but he tried to keep his emotions into him. Not that he used to just disclose it, but sometimes it's to exchange. Few years ago, I spoke about this in one of the Bhagavatam class over here. I think it's quite long time ago. Okay, what happened is, I'm not elevated, but it's an exchange which I could share my realization with Shri Radha Gopinath. And it's a normal, not a big exchange, but I could share it. It's open to public. One time I had my alarm rang, because Sunday morning I come for service here. So a night before I woke in my job was very late and I was very tired. This is, I think, about 10 years ago, close to 10 years ago. So I think the alarm went on at around 3 o'clock and I just touched it and I just went to sleep. I said another 5 minutes. So I'm supposed to leave home at 3:30 to reach here by 4:15 or something. So I turned off my phone for 5 minutes, thinking that because you just press one button, it goes for snooze for 9 minutes, it gives you that 9 minutes extra time to sleep. So I went to deep dream, and I think in that 9 minutes I didn't have a dream. So again it rang for the few minutes and the alarm, and then the second round when it rang, then I snoozed it again and I went to sleep. That time I had an interesting dream. I dreamt that I got up, I showered, I got ready, came to temple, very jovial, sang Mangalarti, went with the back, started to prepare the paraphernalia, started to get ready for the service, and talking to the devotees whom we do the service together. So yeah, everything going well. They went inside, they started the service. I prepared all my paraphernalia for the service. I went inside, started to do the service, and I was just like seeing in the dream as if it was real, and I was just doing the service, like doing all the procedures of the deity worship. While going ahead with the worship, it came to a point where you need to bait the Lord. After all the mantras I recited, chanted all Brahma Samhita, and then while reciting the mantras, I was doing the Abhishek of the Lord. So as soon as I finished the Abhishek, obviously the Lord is without the clothes, and it's an offense to leave the Lord without the clothes. As soon as the Abhishek is done, you need to just quickly put on the clothes and shouldn't leave the Lord like that. So in the dream, I dreamt that after the Abhishek was done, the Pujari disappeared. And I just became upset. I became very upset. I became very angry. What? Why did that Pujari leave that place? He should be there. He should be doing worship. Where did he go? Where did he go? And then I got up. And then I got up and I looked at the clock, it was 3:20. And I said, what's going on? I'm supposed to be in temple. And then I realized that the pujari who was doing the worship was me. And I didn't wake up to go to the Lord. So the Lord came in the dream, made me as if I'm in the process of the service, and then disappeared. I got disappeared, not the Lord. That you are missing in action there. Get up and go. So I got up and then I thought, wow. So I came to the temple. I was very happy. I rushed and got showered, I think a few minutes, quickly, and then still I reached here on time. And then I was exchanging that dream to the head pujari. That time it was Madhu Manjari Mataji. So I was exchanging with her, Mataji, I had this dream. And then on the way I was thinking that how merciful is the Lord, that He knew that I was super duper tired. And I could have missed my service. But He came in the dream to wake me up to come for the service. First point I understood from that dream was that we may not want to come to do the service. I realized from that incident, I'll say, not past time, that moments, that the Lord is looking for you to come and do the service. I came and I told the head pujari that I realized from that the Lord is waiting for you to come and do the service. It's not you who are desperately coming. It's also the Lord who wants you to. Obviously there is both sides. Like there is an effort from you and the blessings from the Lord. But the Lord is also waiting for you to come to do the service. After that I realized that He wants us to come and do the service. It's not that sometimes we get back off. Sometimes we back off that, He doesn't want me, or He may, will my mercy be taken, or will He allow me? But Lord wants you. Every time He wants you. So there was an interesting exchange I had that time in my dream. So like what Prabhupada is saying, obviously Prabhupada's mention over here is that he exchanged the devotees. This exchange of feelings between the deity and the devotees are not understandable by atheists. But actually the devotees enjoys them. So this is something very important for understanding the exchange, that why we also worship deity, that the Lord wants you to come and do it. It's like in a mundane form, if you see, we all grew up through childhood, and we have all seen when we stayed with our parents, and we always want something from our parents. When especially from our mother, when she's cooking something, we always demand, okay, can you cook this type of dal today, or can you cook this kind of thing? And mommy says, okay. She loves it when you ask for it, or she loves, my boy or my baby wants it, or my daughter wants it. So similarly, the Lord also sometimes wants that exchange from you. Like when He also demands you, like, okay, can you come and cook me this today? That's why all the cooks in the deity kitchen, they sometimes, you see, they are supposed to cook this, but then they cook different varieties of things. Then you see, wow, this is probably Krishna's desire today. This is what He wants. So the exchange of the love builds when you start serving. It's a common example when parents, those who have kids and their parents, they Prabhupada always explains that many times Prabhupada was asked this question that why did you build so many temples in the India or in other places where there's so many other temples already here? Why don't you just go and take the temple and start worshipping it? And Prabhupada explained, this is actually a realization from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj's classes, one of the class I had. And Maharaj was saying that Prabhupada's answer for that question was that that you have a kid, that person, the reporter who asks, Prabhupada asked that reporter, do you have kid? The reporter said yes. Then why do you have kids, whereas there's so many other kids on the orphan homes, or like there are so many kids on the street, why don't you pick them up and just start looking after them? Then the reporter became stunned. She said, well, I'd like to have it. So the Prabhupada answer was, yes, we also want to have our deities. This is our Lord, our Radha Gopinath. So that is why Srila Prabhupada established so many temples. That he built that affection that this is ours. ISKCON has their own kids. I mean, of course, they are our father and mother, but we have that affection towards them. So, one other place Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the letter in October 7, 1974. He says, worship Krishna with love. That is the qualification of deity worship. If you love Krishna, you will worship him very nicely. So, that is the main exchange which Srila Prabhupada has given. That worship the deity with love, and you will worship him nicely, then he will give you that exchange. So sometimes it's hard, people don't understand that when they come in front of the Lord, they sometimes don't know what to ask, what to say. That's why Prabhupada has given those standard prayers that don't come and ask the Lord, do this, do that. Just come to the front of the Lord and say, oh Lord, if you, just like recently we had this, when Bhakti Charu Maharaj was very sick, and the GBC released that prayer, what to pray. And when Srila Prabhupada was sick in the final days, in 1977, Prabhupada told his disciple what to pray. So if you so desire, Lord, please allow me to do this. Or if you so desire, Lord, I would like to do this, what is your plan? You don't just go to the Lord and say, all right, I don't know what's going on with this COVID, Lord, why are you just doing this or that? You can't just sanction the Lord what you want to do. The Lord will do whatever he wants to do because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and another letter Srila Prabhupada writes in November 10, 1975. This is very important business, deity worship. The more deity worship, the more the deity is decorated, the more your heart will be decorated with the Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada says that the higher you decorate the deities, the better you decorate the deities, then you get more exchange with the love. The deity is decorated, your heart gets decorated, Prabhupada explains. So, this will also decorate with the Krishna consciousness. Your heart gets more, the more the deity is decorated, the more your heart will be decorated with Krishna consciousness. So when devotees come to the temple, sometimes they kind of forget the offenses which has to be avoided, which sometimes they come to the temple, they sometimes don't know what to do, sometimes it's offensive, they don't even know the offenses which is created. That's why the exchange of love doesn't develop, because the offenses comes in between. So like in Nectar of Devotions, it is in chapter 8 of Nectar of Devotions, offenses to be avoided. Like those are like, one should not enter the temple of a deity in a cow or palanquin with shoes on feet, that's why we leave the shoes outside. One should not fail to observe various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, such as Janmashtami and Rath Yatra. One should not avoid bowing down before the deity. One should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hands and feet after eating. One should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. For example, if someone has died in the family and all those principles, one should not bow down with one hand, one should not circumambulate in front of Krishna, one should not spread his legs before the deity, one should not sit before the deity holding the ankles, elbows or knees with one hand, one should not lie before the deity of Krishna, one should not accept prasad before the deity, one should not speak unpleasant words before the deity, one should not talk very loudly before the deity. That also applies many things. Sometimes we do very loud kirtans too. That is also part of it. This is also important because sometimes we do arti and the kirtan is going so loud you can't even concentrate because the bang bang of the sound makes you figure out what you're doing. So sometimes it's very hard. So it says here, one should not be very loud in front of the deity. That's an offense also. One should not talk in front of with others before the deity. Sometimes we see the devotees, they stand here, there, when the deities are still open, we do chit chat. So it's a good idea to take them outside. Because it's a deity here, Radha Gopinath is here. And you cannot just stand here and just talk anything. And also it says, while talking, if you are not talking truthful, deity is watching you. So you have to be like, this is some things which offenses has to be avoided, So one should not cry in front of the deity. Sometimes some devotees or sometimes they have some emotional things, they come in front of the deity and then they keep on crying. That's an offense. You should not cry in front of the deities. One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. One should not chastise anyone before the deity. One should not be charitable or beggars. One should not be using harsh words. One should not wear a blanket before the deity. There's many things. I've just covered 20. There's about 64 of them in Nectar of Devotion. So certain rules in Western countries, Prabhupada was a bit easy, but certain things he was pretty strict. Especially doing chit-chat in front of the deities, it shouldn't be done. And like lot of things we say. Like I have a very good technique. Whenever I ask devotees, Bhaja Govinda Prabhu knows me very well. I asked him in front of here, I said, Prabhu, you coming for Harinam? He said, yes, Prabhu, I'll come. I said, okay, you said in front of the deities, now you have to come. That's an vow. You've taken, you have to come. So he said, oh my God, you caught me. So just last 2 weeks ago, I was speaking to Madhavi Mataji and she was just doing the security work, so she couldn't walk out, so she had to stay there. We was doing the voluntary service for the darshan. And Mataji was just asking me about some cooking service. So I said, Mataji, yeah, we have these slots available if you'd like to do some. She said, yes, Prabhu, I was looking forward to do it for such a long time and I'm looking forward to do it. Finally, the conclusion was, she said, yes, I'm going to come and do it. I said, all right, all confirmed? She said, yes, all. I said, look, Radha Gopinath is watching you. Now don't back off because it's an offense if you back off. So she's now in the roster now. She's coming and cooking for every second Wednesdays. So that is not an offense, I'll say. Because I managed to get someone for the service. But as general, I'll say like sometimes, I remember when the temple was open, as soon as class is finished, there's like so many groups of prajalpa going on. Oh, Prabhu, oh, Mataji, yeah, like it goes on. And it's not Krishna conscious topic. Okay, if it's super duper Krishna topics, it's all right. Sometimes you have to be a little bit careful about those things, but it's time, place and circumstances. We have to work with it. We are in a bit more modern city of Australia, so it's considered as, oh, that's too much, but it's an offense. So if you can avoid it, it's fine. Okay, while saying that there are many, many important things which could be covered. I'm a bit tired, sorry, because I just finished like a 5-hour maha cleaning in the deity kitchen, so I'm trying to concentrate, but I had really worked hard today in the daytime also. So there's like about more than 100 quotations from Srila Prabhupada about deity worship, and there's so many important. So then, coming to the another point, which I'll share one more exchange, which happened like 8 years ago with me. Yeah, 2012. Yeah. One morning I was about to get in. I was doing my setup of my paraphernalia. I was setting up all my paraphernalias, getting ready to go in the altar. And that time, the head pujari, Madhumanjari Mataji, she said to me, don't take this, don't do this, do this. She said something, I can't remember exactly what she said not to do, and she said what to do. I think some cloth which I was taking, she said, don't use this now. And then for that moment, I started thinking, she said, and she started to do some other service, and I was doing. So that moment, it's an interesting part. You just listen carefully how things can change. Even you are in a very good place, very sattvic environment, and you think that, this thing shouldn't affect, but it does. So what happened was, that moment when Mataji said to me not to do this, instantly my ego went up. My pride came in. I didn't say anything, but within my mind, I was just calculating, why did Mataji said this to me? That egoness arise. And then as soon as that point came, all the beautiful other qualities which ego carries on, pride, anger, false ego, and many other things starts to get together. So that moment I thought, why did she tell me? I know it. I've been doing it for so long. Why she has to tell me this is not right? Why did she say it to me? So for the 5 minutes, my brain was just calculating into hundreds of quotations of offenses. Many things. Oh, what she thinks of herself. Why did she say it? Who's she to tell me? I know it. I'm such and such years of service here. Blah, 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 blah. Within that's where how fast mind travels. And it came to 7th minute and it was keep going on like that. It went to the 8th minute, it kept on going on like that, and I couldn't concentrate on my service. What I was preparing was getting distracted. Like I always work with my systematic way of doing my service. So I was preparing this, okay, all done, fine, ready to go in. But things was not going the way it was supposed to go because the offenses were just stopping me, my ego was stopping me. On the 8th minute, why I'm sharing this, because the day before yesterday I was thinking what are the points I should speak, and this thought came in my mind which happened in the DT department 8 years ago for me. And that morning when I was hearing to my Guru Maharaj's class, and exactly that same point he was speaking on that class. How it came to both that morning before listening to the class, I was thinking that this is the point I should be talking about, how ego actually interrupts in deity worship. And Guru Maharaj was speaking about ego in the deity worship also on that morning class. So then I thought, okay, it's confirmed, I have to speak about it. So that, till 8th minute, I was just going over that and that and that. On the 8th minute, I said, that's it. I said to my mind, shut up, listen to what Mataji said. She's the authority, you have no one to argue about it. She's the head pujari, listen to her. My intelligence kicked in. Till then, my mind was saying, nah, no way. Come on, get away. No, I'm going to do the way I like it. No way. Nah. Every minute it was just counting. Lucky on the 8th minute, I just got fed up of it, and then I prayed to my Guru Maharaj straight away and Radha Gopinath, and straight away the intelligence clicked in. And he said, listen to the authority. The answer was. So the intelligence kicked in, and then I said, yes, she's the authority, I have to listen to it. So I took the cloth, she said, and I went in. When I started doing the deity worship, the Lord reciprocated. He said, this is what I wanted to test in you. That are you willing to listen to your authority or not? You may not like it, but are you willing to listen to it or not? This is where your ego takes over. So ego is so powerful that even in the highest perfection stage, I'm not that highest, but I was listening to so many classes, and every time it says ego can just kick in like that. No matter you're doing for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in Krishna consciousness, 50 years or whatever, And then I started doing the deity worship, and I was feeling that so thankful that the intelligence saved me. They listened to those instructions. While I was doing service, the Lord was so, like you could feel the exchange was so nice. The garlands were setting up, dressing was going on nicely, and everything was, the offering went nicely. So everything went so good. And then when I came outside and I went to Mataji and I said, Mataji, when you gave me this instruction, for 7-8 minutes, my mind was telling me this, don't listen to you, who are you? But on the 8th minute, I took it, Mataji, you are the head pujari, although you are newer in front of us or whatever, but I have to listen to you. Sorry for the offenses, Mataji. She said, no, Prabhu, no. So that actually brought more exchange with, understanding the authority. So it was so nice that way that sometimes we don't understand the mood, that what the Lord wants through the authorities. So when the authority is giving you some instruction, you may think that, wow, what is he doing or what is she doing? But the Lord exchanges through that. I'll give you another pastime, which is in Mayapur, the Narshing Dev deities, once, when the darshan opens, he was having difficulties. When the darshan opens, the light was reflecting to the eyes of Narshing Dev. It was just popping right on the front of the eyes of the Lord, like that. But when you are in darshan, you don't face. When you are doing arti, facing back to the public and facing front of the Lord, you don't see, because the Lord is facing the public. So it came in the dream of Jananivas Prabhu that the light is hitting my eyes. Can you please change the position of the light? So Jananivas Prabhu went and turned on the light and went to the Lord's place and see the actual location, and it was hitting his eyes because it was so direct hitting it. So it does gives that exchange when you are surrendered, to the Lord. So like this is something. So in our deity department, which is in Shri Radha Gopinath deity department, a lot of devotees sometimes who are in the general public, sometimes they don't really know that they could be engaged in many areas of services. They only think that, I'm not qualified, I'm not ready. So in our department, like only 2 places where you need to be like super duper qualified, which is if you qualified in the sense that you have to be Brahman initiated to get in to do the service, which is the altar service and the kitchen, which is Brahman initiated. But we have within deity department 16 departments. So the main purpose of this class today is to invite our whole Sydney congregation devotees that if you'd like to be involved in any of the deity services, we have a lot of opportunities for everyone. It's not that you have to be just like super duper ready for it. You can start doing some services. Like there's services which is for like Srila Prabhupada's altar dressing. If anyone wants to do, they don't have to be even initiated. We even like allow bhaktas who are chanting their rounds and following the 4 principles, they could do Srila Prabhupada's altar service. There is also area of paraphernalia department, which is currently has got a high vacancy rate in it. We have almost 3 spots filled up. 2 spots recently filled up, which is Monday and Wednesday. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, we have vacancy on that spot. So anyone wants to do the paraphernalia service, please contact me. There is a lot of services in paraphernalia. We train them, we give them guidance how to do the service, and then we actually also have opportunities to show them how to do. If you want to do service, just come up, we'll show you how to do, and then just continuously do the service. Other departments like garland services, and we got, which is led by Jyotirmay Mataji. There's cleaning department, which I look after it, and Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. So cleaning department, which has very high vacancy rate, which many devotees, if they want, they could come. We got cleanings inside the altar. Of course, you have to be brown, but there is cleaning in the paraphernalia room. Today we did the Maha cleaning for the kitchen. I was looking for someone to come and help, but there was one man short, so we still try to do it. So anyone wants to do any cleaning services, please contact me. We got jewelry maintenance department where every week we are doing jewelry services, which is we are setting the jewelries so that the pujaris, when they come, they have the right paraphernalia, the right place, they go and do service, and then sometimes they do get placed in the wrong places. So every week there is a maintenance set up for that. There is 3 times in a week or 4 times in a week we do maintenance of it, so that the jewelries are in the right place so the service can go nicely. And like we also provide trainings for everyone. In future we'll be implementing a lot of training programs after Kartik, most probably. That's what the plan is. If COVID finishes, social distance rule finishes, till we have this high social distance regulations, we can't do training. So we are still waiting for the time when we can have more gatherings. So we'll have training programs, which will be areas like cleanliness, kitchen maintenance, kitchen cooking, bhoga offering, aarti training, dressing the lordships. We'll have different models of the Lord will be brought. We'll be training them how to. This is like done in Mayapur Academic, and we'll be also doing how to do Srila Prabhupada's dressing, how to do offerings and training for the aarti. And there's many other areas which we'll be focusing on in future so that devotees can grow from there, whatever status there. Like we have other areas in temple which is like Bhagavatam, Bhakti Viksha, and other groups are there, they're getting knowledge for the book. But similarly in the deity department we are increasing these potencies for everyone. So that if they want to be involved, just contact me. I have got a lot of vacancies for a lot of areas. Also the kind of services which we have is in the morning. We have Mangalarti service which is kind of done almost 90% by temple pujaris. Waking up the Lord, doing the aarti. So this service is kind of highly available. So we could ask any congregation devotees if they are interested, just contact me. Or evening aartis, we have some days available. In Rajbhog aartis, we have a lot of days available. So there is about 60 to 70% days available in the roster if people would like to be part of some service. So just please contact me because it's so important that just before I finish up, I always think of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath in such a high merciful form that Srila Prabhupada had personally said to my Guru Maharaj, which is Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he said that towards the end of his Leela, when Prabhupada was finishing his Leela in this planet, he said, 2 deities I always prayed very seriously. One is Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari in Mumbai, and he prayed to the deities that you please stay and hold this land and I will build a temple for you. And the second is our Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki! Shri Prabhupada prayed here that, oh Lord, because when the deities came, there was not many qualified devotees, there were not many qualified brahmanas, nothing. The standard was just like nothing compared to what Prabhupada has already established in America. There was like already in 71 when our deities came here, Radha Gopinath, my tent, that time when he was doing the installation and he prayed, the Lord, please you give these malachas some guidance that to how to come and worship you. So by mercy of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, I'll say, I always admire in this yatra that how Radha Gopinath has molded so many qualified devotees here. Like some of our devotees, like just 2 days ago, I was speaking to Krishna Tulsi Devi Mataji. she was cooking for 6:40 Thursday evening cooking. Every Thursday she used to do the 6:40 evening cooking. She has recently been not that well with her age factor and health. Not she's having health issue, but because she's getting old now, close to 70. So I was just speaking to her. She's for last 1 year she has been not doing her service, but we kept the service available for her in case she will come back. We were waiting for that in case she will come back. In case for last 1 year she has stopped doing her service. So 3 days ago, I think 2 days or 3 days ago, I called her. I said, Mataji, how are you doing and how is it? She's still doing the Tulsi care service. Plus on top she does this. She's in charge for the Tulsi care for Radha Gopinath. She's still doing it. But she said the cooking service is a bit difficult now because of her age and she's getting old and the late night she has to go home. And I said, Mataji, your slot is still there. If you'd like to come back, we still have the door open for you. She said, no, you can give it to someone. So I started to ask her certain things and she said that she has been cooking from 1983 for Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. And I said, really? 37 years. That's the longest ever cook we had in Radha Gopinath. And the longest ever Pujari Varutapa Prabhu, who is like about close to 36 years, was in serving Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Continuous every Thursday, both Thursdays. Mataji was doing Thursday, Prabhu is still doing Thursday morning and evening. So we have so many long-lasting pioneers which Srila Prabhupada prayed to Radha Gopinath, and Radha Gopinath is inspiring those devotees to hang on to me. So once you get in, once you start touching the Lord, once you start doing the service, you feel it. You will get in and that's it. You don't want to leave Radha Gopinath. That's the beauty of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. So there's many senior devotees like Anandamaya Prabhu, Nand Maharaj Prabhu, Ganesham Das, TKG Ganesham Prabhu, Radha Shalini Mataji, there's Rampriya Prabhu. He's so old, he's like close to mid-70s, Rampriya Prabhu, and he always calls and says, please don't give my Sunday fruit offering puja to anyone. Even now, because of COVID, he's taking a precaution not to come. But he still loves that service. Such an loving devotee. So there's so many devotees like that, who are doing such a wonderful service in Radha Gopinath. I pray that they keep continuing and my main goal of this class is to get the next lot of devotees like that. Because all these devotees are now setting such a good example. Our deity minister has been always saying, now look for more crowds like that. We can do it if everyone cooperate together, and if you would like to come for the deity services here, please contact me. I will allocate you to the right department wherever you get fit. I'm like many devotees, like Sugopi Mataji is there, and Gayatri and Dwarka Prabhu, Gayatri Mataji and Dwarka Prabhu, and Lalsami Mataji. There's like Damodarati Mataji, Srilekha Mataji is cooking for such a long time. And also we have Sudevi Mataji, Dashratapiya Prabhu. I mean, the list is quite a big list, But the beauty is the devotees' love and devotion, and you see how lovingly they're doing Venkatnath Prabhu and Prishnikarpa Mataji is there. They've been serving for almost 22 years now, close to 20 years now. So we have a 20-year batch here, 30-year batch, and 10 years batch. So I'd like to request that all those who are newcomers, who are newly, freshly initiated and Brahman initiated, please come forward. We need to make this temple all local congregation. So that is my request and humble request from the deity departments. As a head pujari, I'm praying to everyone, please come forward. My number is kind of available to everyone. So if you'd like to be in any service, we have a lot of vacancies here. Any questions? Any comments? Any questions? No? Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mata ki, Jai Shri Gaunitai Bhagwan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Sydney Yatra ki, Mayapur, ISKCON, Mayapur devotees and YouTube and Facebook devotees ki Go Premanandi.